everyone. I'm Brendan Jones, and I just watched Homer Badman, an episode of The Simpsons. I was forced to completely analyze it, so I guess I am going to have to tell you my findings. I have a lot of them. 27 pages, to be exact. You wanted me to be thorough? I'm being thorough. Alright, so analysis of the media text. Part A. The medium that I watched this media text on was a DVD. It was a 22-minute cartoon episode that was animated, had an opening title sequence, credits, and had dialogue with a story that has a beginning, middle, and end. Genre conventions. It is a satirical sitcom, and it's humorous, critiques society, ironic, sarcastic, and makes fun of a concept. Has a character that is a spoof on society, and that character is Homer. He spoofs the blue-collar American white male stereotype, and he is a sarcastic person and is very lazy. Alright, so now we are going to see what does the narrative assume about the way society works. Alright, so we see through the episode that fat people eat a lot. Homer is overweight, and while at the candy convention, he takes the most candy out of everyone. And while fantasizing about living under the sea, he fantasizes about eating all of the fish. It also says that fat people are stupid. Homer is the best representation of an obese fat person that we have, and he's kind of stupid. He is portrayed as a less than intelligent person. Radical liberals will become very aggressive towards an individual who is accused of doing something that they find unethical and would rather protest than do anything productive about the problem, such as call the police. Yes, I will touch on a lot about my disdain that no authority figures are called after the sexual harassment episode. The protesters become very aggressive towards Homer after Ashley accuses him of sexually harassing her, and Homer never ends up dealing with the police, even though one of the protesters has a sign that says, "Touch butt, go to jail." What's up with that? Alright, so society is completely controlled and dominated by the television and the media, and Lisa and Bart confess that they have had more time being raised by television than by their own father. The justice system is completely invalid. Marge says the courts do not work anymore. Convenience store workers are Indian. Apu, only convenience store worker shown in the episode, is Indian. And community centers have no regard for people's safety. The Springfield Community Center has a candy convention in room 1 and a candy-shaped rat poison convention in room 11. That doesn't seem like it's very safe. What if someone goes to the wrong room? I mean, it's funny, but still, it's a critique on society, so. People easily fall for dumb tricks. The salesman selling the wax slips to Homer. Homer is like, okay, I'll take some, even though he, questions him. And the salesperson says, it's the county of 1,000 uses, but can only come up with one use. So, I don't know. Kind of stupid. People will stick to the status quo above all. Homer has not learned anything in the episode. Anything. He says that at the end. It is okay to be disrespectful to babysitters. Homer completely disregards the fact that Ashley has been waiting in the car for 20 minutes because of the candy. Completely disregards her. Blue-collar citizens do not feel respectful toward lower class citizens. Bart and Lisa, they have a lot of candy, but do not feel like it's a good thing to give it to needy children, that they should have it themselves, even though they do not want it anymore. Politicians are unfaithful. Mayor Quimby is caught by groundskeeper Willie having sex with a woman who is most likely not his wife. People will believe anything that the media tells them. There is a spark in interest in the sexual harassment story after Homer's interview being shown on Rock Bottom, which has Homer attacking Godfrey Jones. Attacking him. People fall more for the story being told than the evidence being shown. People in society will pick up the story and immediately rush to make a movie about it. Homer-esque portrait of an ass grabber. Ring any bells? The media will eat up a story about one thing and completely disregard all the other news for a while. Channel 6 has round-the-clock coverage of the Simpsons house, and David Letterman says that the #1 joke that he's running into the ground is Homer Simpson. The media dominates everything in society, and I mean everything. There's even a proposition to make television polls legally binding in the episode. That's just crazy. People who feel worthless become untidy. Homer, curled up in a ball, has no friends, room's messy. Public access television is so poorly funded that people have to bring their own equipment. Bart operates the camera, Marge does the lighting, and they bring a fern because there's no place that looks nice. They also bring an American flag. What does the narrative assume are priority goals for men, women, and children and teens? A boy's goal is to be deviant and like swearing, skateboarding, playing video games, and violence. Bart. A girl's goal is to be smart, musically talented, and better than their male counterparts. Lisa. A baby's goal is to suck on things and not be very important. Maggie. A woman's goal is to be dominated, and that's Marge. A man's goal is to be the breadwinner, even though it is clear that they are stupider than women. Homer has the job, Marge doesn't have the job. Homer's easily stupider than Marge. What does the narrative assume are appropriate goals for men, women, children, and teens? It is an appropriate goal for a woman to actively seek help from protesters when somebody sexually harasses them instead of calling the cops. Ashley actively seeks help from protesters after she believes that Homer sexually harassed her. It's an appropriate goal for a woman to be a housewife, shown by Marge, who isn't specifically said to be a housewife in the episode, but she's the one washing the dishes, doesn't have a job. Appropriate goal for children to shout out and not ask politely and expect to go somewhere. Me, 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 say Bart and Lisa, and they think that it'll get them to the candy convention, but it doesn't, even though Marge wants it to. It is an appropriate goal for old people to feel that they are entitled to do whatever they like Abe just is like, I don't recognize Missouri. Teens are only shown once in the entire episode, and that is the sweet voice teen who is at the public access television station working, so it shows that teens aspire to have jobs and be equal, I guess. What does the narrative assume about human motivations, behaviors, and consequences? People actively want to get their story heard, like Ashley Grant, who wants her story heard, but never calls the authorities. Popularity of a story is much more important than the truth. Rock Bottom cares nothing about the truth, but is motivated about getting the best story possible. People easily latch on to stories and do not care about the person being portrayed as the monster. No one ever asks Homer about his side of the story, just assumes Ashley's right because she's pretty. The primal instinct people have after being harassed is to never call the authorities. People, call the authorities. Americans are gluttons for candy. Candy convention even opens up all of the candy bars to try to get the candy, which I must say is illegal. Americans will chase after anything until they get it, and they have no regard for the law, especially blue-collar workers. He opens up all the chocolate bars that are obviously not his at the convenience store, which portrays him as a criminal, and I don't understand how we're supposed to sympathize with Homer when he's portrayed as a criminal at one time, and then he's portrayed as a victim in another part. So, I don't know, we're supposed to sympathize with him? Probably, but they do not do a very good job at convincing it. Of course, it's a satire, so people get lazy when they are isolated, like I've said. The room becomes messy. People do not know how to successfully deal with harassment because Ashley does not call the authorities. She just rallies protesters that harass Homer. It's not even good. People were turned to a higher power when they are forced to make a decision by themselves. Homer can't get any input from Marge, who doesn't help him. Says that he's never made a decision before in his entire life, except at the start of the episode he makes the decision to go to the candy convention, so that's kind of hypocritical of him. And he turns to God. Turns to God. First thing he does, turns to God. What does the narrative assume about the relationships among individuals, families, business, government, and authorities, such as police, which are not really shown after the sexual harassment portion of the episode? The husband tells the wife where to do and where to go. Tells Marge to go to the candy convention and drags her around the entire candy convention. Man in a relationship not able to make decisions by himself must always consult with the woman, except when he doesn't consult with the woman. Men are controlling and when they choose to be, seen as he controls her at the start of the episode, but then says, I can't make decisions by myself later. So, I don't know. It's okay for children to be rude to their parents and still be rewarded. Me. Why don't you take the kids to the candy convention? That seems like a bit of a problem to me. Men are bad parents. I do not believe this is true at all. My father was a really good parent. Homer is neglectful towards his children, even forgetting about Maggie before going to the candy convention. And television raises children more than the father does. Again, not true. My dad was a great parent. Lisa and Bart agree that television has taught them more than Homer has taught them in their life. Police are not important. Yeah. Children are trained to obey their parents at all times. Bart and Lisa blindly believe that Homer is telling the truth, and they do not look for evidence or anything. Men make bad decisions when they have to make them by themselves, like going on a tabloid show. That's not the best decision, Homer. Friends will quickly sell out someone for money. Moe, Dr. Hibbert, Apu, Barney, and Lenny. Just sell out Homer. I hope my friends would never do that, but... What gender roles, behaviors, appearance does the narrative suggest are normal, desirable, uncool, or deviant? Feminism is not normal. Bart wonders why Ashley is not a second-class citizen and doesn't know her place. Fat, bald, and unattractive men are undesirable. Again, that's one of the reasons why everyone latches onto the story, is because Homer is fat, and he can be victimized because he's fat. It's normal for women to be bad drivers. Women are shown driving once in the episode, and Marge almost kills Homer. And actually, in the new opening sequences of The Simpsons, she basically does kill Homer, which kind of is worse. You'd think that it'd be getting more progressive as the years went along, but apparently not. It is normal for women to be the ones doing housework. She is the only one shown doing housework. Homer is never shown doing housework. It is normal for women to be pushovers. Yeah, Marge is pushover. Normal for men to be rude to women. Bart's disrespectful towards Ashley. Homer just doesn't care about Marge's feelings. Forces her to go to the candy convention. Normal for men to be the one to drive. Now, this is one that's really interesting. Marge tells Homer he has to drive the babysitter home when it's clear that she's the only one who remembers her and has a license as shown in the opening sequence, unless she's driving illegally, which I don't think she is, because she has her own car. Being a pervert is unacceptable. Yeah, that's true. Homer is treated as a social pariah when it's thought he's a pervert, and Groundskeeper Willie is viewed as a pervert at the end of the episode, and even Rock Bottom convinces Homer that Groundskeeper Willie is a bad person, even though Groundskeeper Willie clears Homer's name. It is normal for young boys to find violence against women funny. Bart's the one who thinks that the alligator biting the woman's butt was the funniest, even though it's sexual harassment, according to Homer. Not really. It is uncool when women try to make a motivational statement after Marge tries to make a comment that the most decorative thing of all is the truth. Bart's like, huh? And Lisa's like, huh? And Homer's like, huh? What groups or individuals are shown to be powerful or dominant? Media. Media is shown to be dominant. Godfrey Jones, Kent Brockman, Godfrey Jones basically convinces an entire nation that Homer is a bad person, and Kent Brockman covers round-the-clock footage around the Simpsons house. And the family don't believe Homer's innocent because television tells them that he isn't. Feminists, women to an extent, but feminists are shown to be dominant because Ashley can completely control Bart. Salespeople, salesman convinces Homer to buy wax lips even though it's a complete sham. What groups or individuals are shown to be weak victims or helpless? Convenience store workers. Apu is the convenience store clerk, but is shown to be weak and helpless, and doesn't do anything when Homer is experiencing opening up candy bars and being a criminal. So then Apu